Hi, welcome back to our instruction video on how to create a Pookkalam design using our tools. Okay, to get started, you need to click on either the artist or the all-rounder link. You can see them on the main page. You just need to go over them and click. Once you click on the artist or the all-rounder, the designer page is loaded. The designer page generally takes a couple of minutes to load since it has to load all the buttons, controls, shapes that you need to create your Pookkalam. Once the designer page has loaded, you will get this message. What it says is to get started, click on the draw button. Okay, we close this message box and click on the draw button. Click on the draw button. The shapes menu is shown. The shapes menu is a menu of the shapes available for us to create our design. These are basic shapes, and we'll start with a very basic shape, the circle. I go here. To select the shape, you need to click on the shape. Once I click the shape, the number menu is shown. What is the number menu? The number menu is the menu that asks us how many shapes we need to be placed on the Pookkalam floor. Okay, for now let us say 8. Let us see what happens. I click on 8 and 8 circles are placed on my Pookkalam floor. I'll just scroll down so that you can see the whole control tab and the Pookkalam floor. Okay, now you see 8 circles that form a pattern. Now you can have many more complex patterns by adjusting the shapes using the controls available on the left panel. What are the controls available? Adjust shape size, adjust distance, rotate shape, and rotate group. I'll first explain to you the two basic controls, adjust shape size and adjust distance. Okay, to start with, these are sliders. These sliders can be moved by just clicking on them and dragging them. Let us see what happens when we drag the shape size slider. We see that the size of the circle increases and hence creating new patterns. Now with just 8 circles you can have any number of patterns depending on the size of the shape, that is the circle. Now we have one additional control which is simple to understand, that is the adjust distance. What is adjust distance? Adjust distance is the distance of the shape from the center of the circle. Let us see what happens when we start adjusting this. Right now it is at the maximum, which says that the shape needs to be placed at a maximum distance from the center, and as we move towards the left, the shape also moves towards the center. As we adjust the distance, newer patterns are created. Now you see an entirely different pattern as compared to the ones we have seen till now. Okay, now demonstrating rotate shape. Rotate shape is a control that helps you rotate the shape. Now since circle is a symmetrical shape, we need to select some other shape. So how do I draw a different shape? But before that, let's just first clear out the current canvas or the current Pookkalam design. How do we do that? We have a button, clear all design. What the button does is it just erases all the shapes, all the groups available on the Pookkalam floor. So we just click on it and all the shapes are erased from the Pookkalam floor. Okay, now we start, we draw. I select a slightly more complex shape, that is the heart. How do I select it? I just click on it. Now I right now want let us say I'm taking 4. Now 4 hearts are drawn on my Pookkalam floor. Now I adjust the size and distance so that you can see the hearts clearly. Okay, now we use the rotate shape control to rotate the hearts. We just want to create a pattern similar to a flower. How do we do that? We click on the slider button, the green button, and drag it from the left to the right. Let's see what happens. We see that now the shape, that is the heart, has rotated by an angle, and now it gives us a leafy pattern. Let us rotate further and see what happens. It further rotates around its own center and creates new shapes. Now, how does it benefit us to create a Pookkalam? I'll just adjust the distance so that these shapes come together. Okay, now I have just increase the size a bit and just reduce the distance so that all four hearts come together. See what happens when we adjust the shape rotation. This is a new pattern. This is yet another pattern. Now, by controlling just the three controls, that is the adjust shape size, adjust distance, and rotate shape, we can create a number of patterns. Now, what is this rotate group for? To illustrate this, let us try to create a lotus using another set of 4 hearts. Okay, before that, let us first align these 4 to a pattern. Okay, now I see a slight discrepancy in the axis. It's not aligned. How do I correct it? But I just click on the shape and use the right arrow key on my keyboard. I click it so that it slightly turns. That way I have more control over the rotation. See? Okay, now I have it perfected. Now I want to add 4 more hearts. How do I do it? I click on draw. I click on heart and I have the 4 hearts. I just want to add small petals over here. How do I do it? I adjust the size first. Then I adjust the distance so that it comes just in between that. I adjust the rotation so that it resembles the petals. And now how do I bring it in between these 2 hearts? That's the question. So for that we have provided the rotate group control. What it does is I click on it, I rotate the group slightly, slowly, and see what happens. The hearts get aligned over the rotated axis. See? Yes. Now they are aligned and form a flowery pattern. Okay. Now we have a basic Pookkalam available. What other controls do we have that can help us create better designs? 1. Delete selection. Now assume I want to delete something of this group. What I do is I need to select the shapes first. How do I select a shape group? At present these 4 shapes are highlighted, means they are selected. Whatever changes we do will affect them. How do I select a different group? For that we have a group menu towards the right. I just take my mouse over them and the corresponding group is highlighted. Now you see I just took my mouse to the 4 hearts and the bigger hearts are highlighted. I bring down to the next menu item, that is the next group, and the smaller hearts are highlighted. Okay, now to select the corresponding group I just need to click it. Once I clicked, I have the control to test it. Okay, let's just adjust the distance so that I know it is that group. Okay, I have the group. I want to delete it now. How do I do it? I use not the clear all button, I use the clear selection button. clear selection button deletes just the selected group. Okay, I click on it and the corresponding shapes are removed from my Pookkalam floor. Okay, that is about the controls available. We just need to discuss just two more options, that is show grid and show guidelines. What is a grid? Let's see. What is a grid? The grid is just like a graph paper. It just shows lines so that you can align the objects as per your drawing on paper or something. Now you can switch it on or off as per your wish. I click on here again and it hides the grid. Fine. What are show guidelines? What is this control? Show guidelines is the guideline which you can use to align your objects. Now in here we earlier saw that we align the heart shapes, we rotated it so that they are along this line. So this is a guideline. Now we can have multiple guidelines. Say you just need to select the number of lines you need. You just go here, click on the pull down menu and say now there are 4 shapes. I'll choose 4 guidelines. What it does is it creates for me 4 guidelines. It might take some time to load to draw the guidelines and to be visible, so please be patient with that. Okay, now we have the guidelines. So what is this guideline area? This is the area which the guideline shows. Now suppose I want to draw a circle over this group. What do? I can just click on draw and select a circle. That's not an issue, but in case you want to be sure that it is aligned from the center, I can just adjust the guideline area so that you know from where on you need to build the next set of patterns. Say so whatever patterns I need, I will decide to arrange outside the circle. No, the program does not understand anything about the guideline. The guideline and the grid controls are given so that the user can understand and place items according to his wish. Okay, now we have a basic Pookkalam and we have a final control, that is a save. Once I click on the save button, the system asks for my identification so that it can save the design into my account. Now since I have not logged in into the system, it asks me to log in or register an account. Okay, let me create an account. Okay, I have filled in my details. The email address is my contact email address. Password is a new password which I will use for logging in into my account in Pookkalam.in. Name is my actual name. I am from which district in Kerala. If I am outside Kerala, I can just click and select not in Kerala, and then the country of residence. If I'm currently not in India, I'm in UAE or in US or in Australia, I can just mention that here. Then I click on the register button. Ideally it should register me and save the design into my account. Okay, it shows my design has been saved successfully. Okay, and user registration completed successfully. I click OK. Now that we have created the design successfully, let us post it to the contest. I come to this button, submit design for contest, and click on it. Now the system asks if I need to make this design public. What does it mean for the design to be public? It means that the outline of the design you make will be added to the public gallery. The decorators can access your design, just the design outline, not the actual design, just the design outline from the public gallery, and they can fill in to make their own Pookkalams. That way your design can enter the floral decoration competition multiple times. If the entry wins, you also win a consolation prize. Okay, now let us make this public so that others can access the design. Yes. Now it shows that the design has been submitted for the artist competition. We have created a design and submit it for the contest. Now, how to use this design to create a Pookkalam? We'll be handling this in one of the instruction series that follows. Thank you for watching. I hope this was useful, and all the best for the competition.